recording. Back at it again. Doug Smith alongside of, I'm alongside of Will Lowery today. Cheyenne's out playing Lil G, so I brought in my co-homie, not a co-host on Birdies Not BS, co-homie Will Lowery. What's cracking, my friend?
What up, man? I mean, you still got somebody with long hair, so it shouldn't be that much of a difference.
Shit, you're right. You do got the long hair in the back,
right.
but in the front, she still got her curls.
I mean, shit, it's not even there. You know what I noticed? Let me tell you what I noticed real quick.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
I noticed that LeBron James is my clinical trial.
You got to give me more here. You got to give me a lot more.
I'm gonna give you more. So obviously, no offense, LeBron, but we all go through it. LeBron has been trying to get something to stick on that hairline for a while. And so I look at it like this. If he can't find anything to stick, how am I going to find anything to stick?
Right, because he got hella bread and everything to help him out.
Man, he got access. He has, his name could take him places. So, I'm just waiting till he finds something to stick, and then I'll work on, using my Rolodex to get what I need.
Well, we appreciate you stopping on and stopping by to talk to me here on this week's episode. First of all, for people that may not know you, Will Lowery is like the Samuel L. Jackson of golf shows, right? I feel like you, that black guy that's been on literally almost every show from the Big Break. You did like 8 seasons of Big Break, plus the Holy Moly, and goddamn all the other things you got going on. So, one, I've known Will a long time. Will's been a good friend of mine. The way Will and I even met is a story, because I met Will at the golf course in L.A., and that evening I had to bail his ass out and provide him with a place to stay. But it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I got your back, Will. So even now, I still got your back.
Right. That was one hotel couch I'll never forget.
I mean, we almost got shot together. You know what I mean?
We did. I got a real quick dissertation between the importance of red and blue.
Oh man, hey, you better be careful with your reds and blues and your E's and R's when you in LA. So for y'all that don't know what we talk about, me and Will almost got shot. We were leaving the golf course in South Central LA, which is already a story in itself. We are playing golf South Central LA in El Segundo, and there was a homegoing celebration for a Crip, and we had to actually leave the course. Luckily, we had a blue car, because all them boys was out there with French braids and blue dickies. As cliche as it was, I'm glad we was in a blue car.
Yeah, but I was scared because I had my red shirt on. It was Sunday. I was trying to be like Tiger, so I didn't want them guys to get confused. Like, brother, I have nothing to do with what just happened. I'm just trying to make birdies. That's all I was doing. Yes, the red shirt. Don't let the mock red fool you, please.
I know the funniest part, Will, was like when we were leaving that, we had like 300 yards of just dense Cripville leaving the golf course, mind you. I can only remember the advice I gave you, which was, hey, man, just look straight.
So, right. So I don't know if you explained well. So from the parking lot to the front entrance, between the parking lot and front entrance was about 300 yards. It was a sea of blue. So as we were driving through the crowd, and I don't know if punk is the necessary word that we both can say that we were, but we just wasn't as macho as we once were.
No, I don't think that was not the time to be to flex on. We leaving the golf course and we in Cripville.
Right.
It's not the time to be tough.
The mean streets of Kentucky and the mean streets of Charlotte was not the time to showcase our strength. But as we were walking through, it was kind of funny because as we were driving through, we got quiet in the car, and once we got through the ruckus, we came out the other side, and that's when we really realized.
We got so damn hype after that. But you know what? I think that story though, Will, goes to show you just how you can bring different lives to the golf course. That was an extreme case. Brothers at the golf course going through a sea of gang members. But in the same breath, and I know you've experienced it as well as I have, golf has also brought me from gang members to company CEOs to religious leaders to celebrities to athletes. How's golf been for you in that aspect?
Man, golf got me into the C-suite. I can say, during my my brief stint on Big Break in my 19 seasons, I realized that it's got me into certain circles that I can really proclaim myself to be a Z-list celebrity, and the Z-list celebrity is not all kit and caboodle like you think.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But, it's a bunch of backdoors and some handshakes though.
Man, backdoors, handshakes, and who you know and who knows you. But it definitely got me in some certain doors, and I appreciate it. And the grind and the struggle is still real, but I can say my journey's been quite entertaining for sure.
But Will, along those lines, you've actually used that Z-list celebrity to push forward through some, potential future opportunities for you as a producer, as a showrunner, as a writer, as a poet, as a all-around hustler, as a black man with some hanging on dreads. Like, what are you working on?
What's so funny is over the years I realized I have to really kind of be conscious of displaying what I'm working on, because when a person got too many hats on, it's kind of no pun intended, but when a guy has too many hats on, it can come across as not being focused, what have you. So it's kind of been of a double-edged sword. But I working on a couple screenplays that surround the sport that we love, golf, and diversity and inclusion. Also have just sent NBC a buttload of pitch decks that I have, and I got some emails back, and they liked them all, and so we're going to have some conversations. And one of the things were podcasts.
You talk about providing a voice. What do people need to hear? Like, you being the voice, what is it that's not being said that you can say?
I think just being a voice of the unheard. There's so many golfers, minority golfers, who are really trying to get in the game, who really want to know the game, but they may not understand how to do so, And I think, by having different projects, me being involved through some of the initiatives I did with Big Break, et cetera, it provided me an opportunity to really come up with some type of algorithm via podcast, via
entertainment,
TV show, movie, entertainment, and just try to figure out how to really get these guys to hear me and make connections.
Now, I find it interesting, Will, that when you think of the heroes of the game, guys are really buttoned up, country club, top button type Peter Millar wearing cats. You don't fit that mold. Dreads, hat backwards. Hell, you don't even hold the club correctly. Like, it's like everything in golf, it's like you've held a middle finger to. Like, you know what? Clean cut? Nah, I'm going to let my beard be shaggy, but it's going to have a line on it, though. Hat forward? Nah, I'm going backwards. White skin? Nah, I'm going black skin. How have you been received as this Z-list celebrities in these C-suites? How have you been received per your stance as a black man and your appearance as a black man?
It's so funny. I like it to the point to where you're looked at as different until. And the reason why I say that is when I'm in these particular rooms, a lot of people you can see the side eye. You can see how people who are definitely used to being in that arena, and they look at you as if, how did he get here?
Yeah, how the hell are you here?
How are you here? And they ask that question in so many ways. At times it's that direct, but other times it's a roundabout way of asking. But
who do you know?
How did you get in this room? but once I tell them I play golf professionally, and then I become their best friend. But in the whole grand scheme of things, if it wasn't for my look, I think I can somewhat change the perception of how they view people who are attached to golf.
I mean, I feel like traditionally white folk are scared of brothers with dreads. Like, as basic as it's, that man's got dreads, I'm scared of him, he's intimidating, blah, 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 blah. And those things, those dynamics are true in golf. So one thing I've always looked at you and marveled, but it's like, you're so good at owning your space. You're so good at owning your look. You're so good at being who you actually are, even though you still owe me $5 from about 4 years ago. And being so comfortable, where does that come from, Will?
I mean, I have to say it's comfortable who I am with myself. I mean, I over the years, and through trials and tribulations and having feelings hurt when I go to certain golf courses and interact with people, it allowed me to have the understanding what makes me tick. And I think once you understand what makes you tick, and knowing who you are, it's kind of hard to be broken. There's times to where I know when I go to certain places, I'm like, man, this is gonna be a tough one right here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, not to sound too cocky, but once I get in dialogue, once I have an opportunity to really have that individual square up with me, so to speak.
No, absolutely, it's damn sure a squaring up. because they want to. The first thing they're going to do is try to correct your appearance. You know, how many times have you been asked to, you know, it's about those courses that are gated. Okay. Like, I feel like when I'm going to a course and it's not gated, even though it's high end, whatever, if it's a gated facility, that's when the stereotypes come. And that's when the let me clear my throat. Let me act a little bit more hoity toity. Let me turn my hat around. For you, it's let me keep my hat backwards.
Right. But here's a question for you, Doug. When you're approaching that gate and you know it's a different crowd, and you know the crowd may not be as forgiving, how much do you let yourself, I don't want to say let yourself go, how much do you restrain from letting you show and showing a representative?
I get your question.
I get your question. Not make representative the wrong word.
No, it's tailoring yourself to fit the scenario, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and I think, Will, it's a really good question because I think it happens a lot in golf, especially for blacks in golf. But I also think it happens a lot for blacks in just general American society. I mean, I work in golf. I can't always be as black as I feel like I am or I could be. Right. You know, I use the N-word with my friends. I'm not going to use the N-word in certain country clubs. I'm not going to, you know, say certain things and speak in a certain vernacular. Now, I will say there is a time and a place for you to be each version of yourself, right? Because now I'm a father. So there's a time for me to be a father. There's a time for me to talk to my boys. There's a time for me to walk the straight and narrow. There's a time for me to protest and be loud, you know, and those are the conversations I feel like are specific to each scenario as we go about our day. Because you can go to some of the most hoity-toity clubs, and then you've got to go, what if you have to go from like a LACC and then go to Chester, Washington out in LA? Right. You know, you're going to run two different dynamics.
But you know the thing about it though, Doug, I can tell you this though, you know, in the experience that we've both been through, I don't think there's a golf club in America that we can't get to. And when we're there, that we can't, I don't want to say have everybody in our hand, but we can really break.
Just rock it. That's it. Just rock it.
Just
rock out there, just crush
break
it.
That, break that maybe that perception they may have of it in the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had courses not open the gate for me to come in because I was black. Multiple times.
No question.
I know what that feels like.
Question.
A lot of people are like, oh my gosh. The last time that happened to me was 2005. The last time I was literally discriminated against for going into a club. Or how many times have you been somewhere, Will, and you're in the men's grill, or you have to go into the men's locker room, and there's that members only placard on the door. How many times do you hesitate? It's like, damn, this is members only. And then you get like rejuvenated and galvanized to be like, fuck this. I'm walking through that door. And because today I'm a member. Like I do that all the time. It's like, you know what? I'm not a member here, but today I am.
And how much is that, Doug? And I have to be honest, this is probably a good question for us and for everybody who's listening. How much is that feeling us versus us getting the sense of the atmosphere and where we are? The reason why I say that is because there's times to where I have been like, you know, I'm not sure I want to mess with the men's grill today. And to be honest, there's times to where, you know, my friends of mine who are white, Will, you're overreacting. So is it the fact that you can't see it, or am I overreacting? And I ask myself that question often.
You know, again, when you talk about overreaction, we're still talking about a reaction, regardless of the level of it. Now, our history has put us in a similar scenario multiple times where there has been a certain activities to either make us feel welcomed or make us feel rejected. And we recall on those experiences when we go back to that scenario. You know, I've been asked to leave the men's grill at very, very high-end clubs because I'm not a member. You know, even when I was a kid, I was asked to leave certain places because I wasn't old enough, right? I was 18. You got to be 21 to be in the men's grill. I think it's those things. It's our history that is at play and our own experiences that we recall. Our white counterparts don't always understand because they've never been there. They've never been discriminated against in certain scenarios around golf. I have multiple times. I know what it feels like. I know how it makes me feel. You know, I used to have a country club membership, and some things happened, and I was discriminated against and not able to play my club championship on some things. I ended up leaving that club. but I remember the pain and I remember the anger that I felt because my money didn't weigh enough, and that's the thing about, being black in this game sometimes is although you might be able to afford some shit, your money might not weigh enough.
Right.
To where you get all the superlatives that you're due.
Now, with the wake of unfortunate events of George Floyd, do you think we can start to turn that corner? You think we can start to come around that back line?
No question. It's been interesting in the wake of George Floyd's death, and rest in peace to Mr. Floyd, and our condolences from Birdie's Not BS to the families. What I find interesting is this call to action from white people more so. I've had more people reach out to me and express sentiments about, I'm sorry, I want to understand this time, this tumultuous time, but I can't, but I want you to know I love you and I'm with you. And then my thing is, thank you for telling me, but I need you to tell that to your white friends and your mama and your auntie and your cousin. Them. Tell them that you are outraged for the mistreatment of black people in this country. Tell them that you want, it's funny. I saw this joke from Michael Shea. He was talking about how we just wanted, how gays were so audacious to want equal rights.
Equal rights, right.
All black folk wanted was civil rights.
Civil rights.
You know what I'm saying? It's like how audacious of you to be. It's like black folk want equal rights. No, and then the black people's like, no, we just want civil. We just won't keep it civil. We don't want equal.
Too much.
Equal
too much.
It's like, and then it's like the blacks are looking at the gays like, how dare you want equal rights?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how dare you, society say that black lives don't matter and that all lives matter. We're not saying that all lives matter. We are. That's a given. We're saying at this moment in time that the black ones matter. Like, they just matter.
Right.
They matter.
They matter.
Like, when's the last time something mattering brought the world into such discourse?
Through the game of golf, I have gotten a lot of messages in my DMs. Say, hey man,
a lot of love.
I love to go out and play some golf, man. Really talk to you about all this, and I didn't know that it was like this. I'm like, yeah, you may have been given a package of unearned benefits,
your unearned benefits.
Yeah, but I'm glad the fact that you already had this conversation, and I'd love to show you some of my stories.
That's been the encouraging piece, Will, is the fact that people are willing. Like, I saw a piece with Matthew McConaughey on social a couple of days ago where it was like awkward conversation with a black dude, with Matthew McConaughey. And I was like, this is dope. Like, the fact that a guy like Matthew McConaughey is willing to understand, willing to take time, make himself vulnerable. Like, that's what I find interesting is that white folk right now are willing to be vulnerable around the topic of race and equality and social justice. And that's the first, you can talk to the freedom riders back in the 60s. But this is the first time that cops don't know who to shoot during these protests. There's too many white people out there.
Right. We have to get the lingo on the defunding police. That's a whole nother conversation. But
yeah, that's a conversation for you on a different podcast, because I got some couple more topics that we got to get to. Again, Cheyenne Woods, she's competing this week, so unable to have Cheyenne with us today. But we got my man Will Lowery with us, so super stoked to have Will here. And yes, I did say super stoked. I do use that word. That is not a black word, but I use it. Damn it, because I play golf. No, but Will, we got to get to this crosshand bit, because I find it so interesting that you are so fucking stubborn that you would not switch your hands as a child and chose to have the left hand below the right hand and swing effectively backwards. Tell me about how you got into the golf. I know you came in from tennis. Tell me about how you stuck with playing golf crosshand.
Man, I was a big tennis player as a kid. So I had a two-hand forehand and two-hand backhand. Tennis was my life. In the hood, everybody was trying to be like Michael Jordan. I was trying to be like Michael Chang. I don't know if anybody who knows who that is, but he was one of the outstanding tennis players as when I was coming up as a kid.
The black man that looked up to the Asian. Got it.
Yes, exactly. So he was my hero. So as I was playing, golf, and I picked up the club, crosshand, and I just thought that was natural. But you'd be surprised, Doug. Like, seriously, when you see kids naturally grab a golf club who are right-handed, they pick it up cross-hand.
They do. And
sometimes I turn the side eye. I turn a cheek. I don't really pay attention. And at times, I don't want them to have to go through so much scrutiny like I have. So I tell them to change their grip. So.
See, I always thought you should have had your own show on Golf Channel or some medium where given you are a Z-list celebrity, you're not as recognizable, right? That way you could just go up to the different coaches and schedule a lesson and come in. It's like, you know what? When you hold it conventionally, right? And swing and be messed up and be like, well, if I switch my hands, I hit it a lot better. Like, I would have died to see you do something like that. It would have been fantastic.
Right. I mean, like I said, I'm still trying to raise awareness some way, somehow, as far as the cross-hand movement.
Cross-handed golfers matter? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, please do not exclude us. I mean, I know all golfers matter, but cross-hand golfers matter. Yes, the 0.2% of it. Yes. Absolutely. Good call, Doug. You're right. We do matter.
So being from Charlotte, Will, what's it like growing up in an area where there is such a large African-American population and a population of guys that do actually play golf? Who are those people that brought you to the golf course and made sure that you understood the game and stayed in the game?
It's so funny, man. There was a guy I used to play on every Saturday morning. He used to play with a group. Everybody has a random group on Saturday morning. And I used to take their money every Saturday. I could always count on taking their money. It was
that always
like $35. $35, $50. It was always I can always count on. There was another guy by the name of he's a basketball player. He had a short stint with Charlotte. A guy by the name of Vernon Maxwell. Mad Max is what they called him. Mad Max was a big golfer. He used to, I don't know if this is pro, but he used to take me around the city, pimp me as far as playing against all golfers. He put all kind of money on me. And I was so naive. I just wanted just enough money to get me a PlayStation video game. That's all I wanted. So he'll take me around the golf course. We pay, $400, $500 a hole. I come home with $50, get a video game, and I'm good to go. But he put me into a professional event around maybe 23, 24. And he said, I just want to see how you do. He paid for my travel. He paid for entry fee, etc. All I had to do was get there. And it was a Hooters event. And I finished tied for 7th. My first ever professional event. I made $6,000, right?
Damn.
And when I made that $6,000, I told my girlfriend at the time, I said, baby, I just made $6,000 my first ever, golf tournament. I should be on a PGA Tour in like 3 weeks. We should be okay. So lo and behold, that's when I caught the bug. That's when I fell in love with golf. I was trying to balance work in the winter, save money for golf in the summer, and that was it.
So how old were you when you started?
That was played my whole life with my dad as a kid, but I didn't get serious until probably around maybe 21, 22, 23-ish.
You old head for that. Damn, I had just looked.
Yeah, I'm old, man.
Look, shit, that was like we met in 2011, so it's like shit. You was fresh out, basically.
I was fresh, man. I didn't know anything about swing path. I didn't know anything about positioning. I didn't know any of that, man. I was a gambler, man. I was putting ball on to face the club and getting it going the direction I wanted to go.
And there's bliss in that, though. There's so much bliss in not knowing all this shit about path, deep plane, angle of attack, left, right, up, swing. When you can just play the game and not know that shit, man, like you're so much free. You're so much more free to do whatever the hell you want.
You're free.
Now I try to hit a cut and I got to think of getting my path left and my face open and this and that and getting steeper.
Right.
Back in the day when I was a kid, the only goal when you hit a cut is to make sure it curves right. Right. For a right-handed golfer.
Right.
I'm over here thinking about numbers and planes and flexion and here's
the funny part. When I was a kid, well, when I say kid, I'm talking 23.
Yeah, when you was a grown ass young adult.
Yeah, when I was a young ass grown ass old golfer, I was trying to hit the ball straight, curving the ball. What was that? It just hit the ball straight, and we just gotta get it going that way. I don't care how we do it. Now, granted, my divot may go across my feet, but it went straight, man.
The ball went straight. That's what it is. So, Will, you played tennis. You jumped into golf. You jumped on some TV shows. What is your stance on the service that's being done by every golf organization to grow the game?
I mean, I think there's not a lot of networks of blacks that are keeping kids in the game, and I'm often questioning why is that? In my little small opinion, I think to increase that participation, I believe we have to get stuff on television. I believe there has to be the same formula works in basketball and football. When a kid sees LeBron James or whomever his favorite basketball player, he wants to be like him.
Be like Mike.
We have Harold Varner, et cetera. But
I like how you say we, like we elected Harold as our black ambassador. Harold is the Al Sharpton of golf. Like, we have Harold, we got Harold and
Al Sharpton. I mean, that might be a little too deep. I'll probably say he's there. He's black. He's there.
I think Harold woke up though through this process.
I can only allude to me. When I was a kid and I used to watch Big Break, I remember Alton Cruz. I don't know if you remember Alton Cruz. He was a minority golfer that was on Big Break. I remember watching Tim O'Neill on Nationwide Tour when I was a kid, and he used to do his thing. I don't know if you remember this. I was such a huge fan of just minorities in golf to see him black people around golf. I remember Brandy Seymour.
Wow.
Who was, and I'm probably dating myself as well, but seeing Brandy Seymour on Golf Channel, not only was she pretty, but she knew the game of golf.
I haven't heard that name in so long. Wow.
Right. And the thing about it, I used to dream of, man, I want to get the Nationwide Tour so Brandy Seymour can interview me. And I think that is what's missing in the whole golf ecosystem, so to speak. You don't know anything if you're not exposed to it. Yeah. And so if we can somehow get content of just, a black man holding a golf club, I just think that does wonders for kids coming up for sure.
Golf is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's not even just playing the game of golf that can lend you to have a career in the sport. Being a head golf professional, working in the trucks for the NBC, CBS, ABC, all these different, media outlets. There's merchandising opportunities for each independent company has their own golf divisions, etc.
Right now, who do we have as the voice of black people concerning the game of golf? Maybe nobody. One.
The only,
you got Damon Hack.
You got Damon, and we had Damon on a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Damon Hack, and Damon even mentioned the fact that he wants to be able to be that bridge that people can see him, and then can pull other people, other have-nots, minorities up to be broadcasting the game or broadcasters in the game.
And I think, I think that's where, in the whole landscape of golf, I think that's where golf is dropping the ball.
Yeah, golf's not doing a good job of having people work in the game.
We have Scott Walker. He's out there, and he was the voice of Golf Channel, but now he's the voice of overseas European golf when he's in his living room. So nobody knows that he's a man of color. So who's going to be inspired by that?
I tell you what, here's something crazy. Here's one of my TV fantasies, because a lot of people don't know this, but my goals and aspirations are to talk about golf on air, one day. That's kind of where I want to get to. But I find it interesting. I want to hear Jim Nance sitting alongside of Gus Johnson doing golf, because Gus, for those that can't quickly identify Gus Johnson is that super excited basketball announcer that always is screaming when the threes go down, like, he buries it, no buzzer beater, Carolina over Duke. Can you imagine Gus Johnson on the call coming down? Tiger Woods, 18th green, Masters. You got Jim Nance all sultry and sexy, just hello friends. And then you've got Gus Johnson, Tiger Woods, 15 feet, downhill slider. It's on the way, high side. Head catches the lip. It's good. Tiger to 6.
Yeah,
like that would be so dope to me. Like
it would be.
Jim. Yeah, the pair Jim with the Gus Johnson, and you're gonna go Google Gus Johnson after this, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I like him.
I am gonna Google Gus Johnson, but even the fact that you did that great description, by the way.
Thanks.
I think we need that. We need that one moment in time that we can always remember for golf, for the African American novice.
Will, running short on time. Tell me, what's up next for you? Where can we see you? Where can we find you? What you working on? What we doing, man? Man, getting these TV shows out, man. I think just trying to figure out, man, what's the best direction and how we can, and I say how we can tell our story from our pen and pad this time. So well, there you have it. Sit down conversation with my co-homie, Will Lowery, like the season salt. My man, hey, I appreciate you stepping by. It was an impromptu day for you. We just kind of said, let's jump on the mics and talk about it. I appreciate it. I think we got some content that people are really going to gravitate toward. And shit like this needs to be heard. You know, I feel like there's so many places where white folk are trying to get answers. Listen to Bernie's Not BS, because we're not going to give you that bullshit. You know, we're going to tell you the awkward truth. You know, so tune right here. Will Lowery, love you, man. You still owe me $5. I'm going to pray for your hairline. We got some different, potential sponsors that might be able to help with that. Some ED stuff. I'm kidding. No, I don't have any of that shit.
But yeah, it ain't LeBron people. It ain't LeBron people, so it don't matter.
You know what? I tell you what. Once we get one of these shows to pop, I'll buy you some new hair. We good.
There we go. There we go.
I hope everybody out there is really taking this COVID-19 situation very serious. Since recording this episode, unfortunately, Will lost his mom to COVID, along with his grandmother on his mother's side and his grandmother on his father's side. So make sure you guys are masking up, staying socially distant, and doing everything you can to stop the spread of COVID-19. Will, we love you. We standing with you. You always have a place here. Birdie's Not BS. Thank you so much. And we praying for you. I hope everybody else that listens to this episode joins me in prayers for Will and the Lowery family. And that's all for this week's episode. You guys know how to reach us, birdiesnotbs.com. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Birdies Not BS. You know the handle by now. You should. Be sure to give us a review on all listening platforms. We look at them. We appreciate them. We need those to get better. So feel free to leave a review and let us know what you think about this episode with my co-homie, Will Lowery. Holla at y'all.